The Reonomy search for a VIP buyers list.
Gotcha. So, okay, we're going to dive into Reonomy and exactly how to find any buyer for any asset class, period, end of story. Okay, so obviously, Gina, we're going to focus on your market, which is going to be Ocean County, right?
Right.
I'm going to share my screen in 1 second. I'm just bringing this up. Okay, here we go. So let's share the screen. If you're looking to find a buyer for any type of asset class, no matter what you come across, now look, this works for literally every asset class. I'd say probably except for development. Okay, development's a little shaky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Reonomy is definitely not a perfect software. I don't think it is perfect, but it does a pretty good job of existing product. So let's do it. So first thing we're going to look at, we're in Ocean County, New Jersey right now. Okay, so you have this entire quadrant of New Jersey. What asset class do you want to focus on? You want to do hotel motels?
Yeah, hotel motel.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to go to property type. Okay, sorry, we're going to do here property type, and we're going to hospitality. Got 112 properties. Okay, that exist. Now it's not a lot, but you got 112 hotels and motels in Ocean County alone. We're then going to go to sales within the last 2 years. You see that there's been 8 sales of hotels and motels in Ocean County in its entirety. We're going to hit apply. Now, what we're going to do here is that obviously if we start filtering it by anything else, we're going to lose a lot of opportunity here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click owners right away. And I'm going to show you this here. It should be your magic list right here, Gina. These people are the people I'd be reaching out to you right away. And I would be trying to get a hold of every single one of these people. These people right here, these top 10 buyers, right? These are people who have bought property. You can see here when their last acquisitions date were, right? 24, 25, 23, 23, 23, 24, 24, 22, 23, 24. You can see they're all very recent. These are going to be people that I would reach out to right away. So now, obviously, if this had like 80 people or 100 people or several hundred people on it, I would continue to sort. Like if you send to me not hospitality, which by the way, you could even do sales within the last 5 years just because there's not a lot of them. Now you have 40. So it's like, okay, here you go. These are going to be all the people on this list, right? 43 people on this list that I would reach out to. All these people own some type of hospitality. So I'd reach out to every single one of them. You can see exactly when they most recently bought, and you can use that as a reference.
So you can't import this though, right? You have to open up one each individually, right?
Yeah, so what you could do is you can go to properties and then you can hit export. Because like basically what this entire list is, based on this list, right? Hospitality sold in the last 5 years in Ocean County. Now again, I wouldn't tell you all to do this, but this is obviously an instance where like there's not a lot of properties, right? There's just not a lot here in this market. So what I would tell you to do, Gina, is that you could literally just go to see how there's 26 properties, but if we go to owner, there's 43 owners, right? Now obviously some of the properties are owned by two people, partnerships, right? So you can that's why. So what you can do is I would just go to this property list and just go to export and just pull this list right here. So you could pull this list and start here and just say, hey, when you call them, and the script is essentially just the backwards one that we use, which is, hey, hey, Sally, my name is Gina. I was calling you because I saw that you had recently bought a property here at 123 Main Street. I represent a lot of hotel owners that are looking to sell. And I was just curious if we came across a wonderful opportunity in and around your market here in Ocean County, would you be open to taking a look at it? Almost everyone's going to say yes. And then you get to learn more and ask more questions to the person you're speaking to vet them in real time. Like, Sally, tell me more about what your portfolio looks like. Do you own more than just the hotel here, right? Or the hotel or motel here at 123 Main Street? Because you want to know, do they own a lot of product? When's, I'm just curious, like, are you actively looking for more, right? Or is this, again, they only own one hotel and they're not, they operate one hotel. Is obviously you can, you're going to want to find people who bought something recently, own a bunch of it, and want to buy a bunch more of it, right? Like that's what we want, right? Those are the most active people, right? Because especially if you saw, like hypothetically, if you found somebody who bought a hotel 10 years ago and they own one hotel, what's the odds of them buying another?
They're not buying.
They're not buying. Exactly right, right? Like again, we want to make it pretty simplistic. So it's like, what we know, again, if we could be greedy for a moment and ask for everything that we would want in a perfect buyer, what would that be?
That list.
Yeah, I mean, people who bought recently, own a lot, and are looking for more right now. That's all we're looking for. So does this help you?
Yes.
Cool. You got it. If you have any more questions, just ask, okay?
Yep.
It's so hard to find like what market price per square foot is in, like would it be for like a freestanding retail building on Route 35 like 250?
No, I think that, I mean, how big is it?
It's almost 7,000 square feet.
Okay. And what's the quality of the construction? Is it good looking?
Yeah, it's pretty good looking. It's not bad.
I would probably say I want to be closer to like sub 200 a foot. What is it listed for right now?
It's listed for 2.5 million, and they bought it in 2020 for like 918,000.
If they're out of their mind. I would be offering probably like 175 a foot right now. That's what I'd be
Okay.
offering. Like maybe 175, maybe 200 a foot. Like maybe 1.4 at
Okay.
most. Because I think I could chop it up, and I mean I would probably chop it up if possible and put in multiple tenants at like 25 a foot
hmm
triple net.
Yeah, and there's an additional 2,000 square feet of warehouse, and I know we kind of spoke about this
Is
before,
that
but like
inclusive of the seven or not inclusive?
not inclusive.
Okay.
So do you like we kind of discussed this before, do you count it half price of what we're
Not half,
estimating?
not half. I mean, but industrial is only, industrial in on Route 35, 2,000 feet is, maybe you get a tenant who's
Well,
paying you
no, so
15
it's
bucks a
it's
foot.
for the retail user.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
I'm just saying, in my
got
mind,
it.
I'm looking at like I might get only 15 a foot triple net,
Got it, got it. Yeah,
or
I wasn't even
I might
counting
get
it.
25 a foot for the remaining retail. So it's like our future value on this type of asset is 25 a foot times 7,000 plus 15 a foot times 2,000 is 205 triple net, right? And it's like
Uh,
205 triple net into a 7.5% cap rate is only worth 2.7 some odd million, right? And that's after it's fully occupied. And no one, I don't even think someone's going to pay that, but I think that it could be worth that to a bank. So it's like if I think it's only going to be worth 2.7, I can't pay 2.5 today. And it's,
no,
and I need to be at like 1.5 today or 1.4.
thank you.
You got it. No worries. And obviously, look, if you have an owner occupant and they, that doesn't matter, then yeah, they
Yeah, I
should.
don't want them to overpay too much either. Like, I feel like if someone bought it in 2020 for like less than a million, like
So
1.5 or 1.4 is still a good deal for them.
yeah, for sure. Now, look, hold on. I'm going to be very clear, though. I want you to keep in mind, like, look, when you're being a fiduciary, the most important thing, okay, obviously, when you're dealing with owner occupants, okay, is that you get them the property that they want. It's like take a like your family friend of yours, okay,
Yeah.
a family friend of yours wants to buy a single family house, okay. They're in a neighborhood like they know that they're probably going to pay a decent premium. That's in the eye of the beholder. The thing is that like if you got them the house and they're happy, you are their
Yeah.
fiduciary and you did a good job. They don't need a
Yeah.
steal. Like they're not. It's not like you're working with an investor who needs to make 20+% internal rates of return to please their investors,
hmm
right? If you're working with an owner occupant, getting a steal sometimes knocks the opportunity of them getting the
hmm
property that they need off the table. So
I
that's
guess
why I
it's
like to
just
be very clear. It's
understanding
an owner
what a
occupant.
steal is versus what is fair.
I think a 1.415 number is a good price for an investor. Now, an owner occupant who's going to be there for 20 fucking years and make two, three, four, $5 million a year in their business,
Yeah.
I would overpay in 5 seconds because it doesn't matter. Like for them, it's irrelevant. It's just like again, back to the single family thing. If I'm gonna have my family here for 20 years, I don't care what I pay. I want what I
Right.
want. I just want you to understand, like if when you're working with owner occupants versus investors, it's a very different conversation. And I think when you have owner occupants, by the way, like who will most of the time, like I just said, pay more money because
Mhm.
the price of buying something for let's say $500,000 more, when in reality, remember that some of them are getting SBA loans, so they're putting 10% down. They put 10% down on 2.5 million versus 10% down on 1.5 million is a difference of 100 grand. And then if you're making two, three, four, let's say a million in profit a year, pay the 100 grand.
Yeah.
Get the business up and running. Let's go. But like again,
Yeah.
like that's and I'm talking. I would say the same thing to my best friend. I'm like, look, I'm understanding. Like obviously, you're probably going to pay a little. You're going to overpay a little bit on the asset itself. But if you've got a beast of a business,
hmm
it's worth the extra 100 out of pocket.
Right.
And 100
Yeah.
grand maybe extra a year in debt.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank
I just
you.
don't want you also to talk yourself out of a deal. Like it's like you don't have to get them steals. That's not if you're working with an
Mhm.
investor, 100%. Like they need to make good returns. But
Right.
Yo, I would love to see the process of making the offer on the phone and then them denying it and then pitching a listing or something like that. I feel like that's an area where I really need help in. I've got a ton of opportunities, but they're just not good buys. They want an on-market price. Nobody can afford it. No investor can afford it. So
yeah.
I'd love to see how you transition to a listing. What I've run
Let's
into.
role play it. Let's role play it.
Okay.
You and
What
I
do you
will
want?
role play it. Okay. I'm going to be the seller. You're going to be the agent, and we're going to see how you do. And then
All
we'll
right.
flip flop it, and then I'll show you. Again, I'll kind of pivot afterwards.
Okay.
And I'll be the agent, and you be the seller after. Okay.
All right, fine. Let's say the property's worth. Let's say you want $100,000 for the property. I'm gonna offer you 65. Is that
Okay.
fine?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep. So just
Right.
go ring ring. I'm gonna say hello. And honestly, you could just start off with like you offering me the price. You can just as soon as you say ring ring, you could just say go into your conversation.
Okay, perfect. Ring ring.
Hello.
Henry, how you doing? Hey, I want to
Good.
make you an offer of 65K on the property. How do you feel about that?
Well, look, like I told you, we don't have to sell it. We'd like to sell it if we happen to get our price. So we're looking for 100 grand. Maybe we could do 95, but that's probably where we're gonna be.
Having me market the property for you, Henry.
I wouldn't be against it.
I'm going to send you over an email with some of my information. I'm going to be in your neighborhood in tomorrow around 7. I'll be there again tomorrow around noon. Do either of those times work for you?
I can do noon tomorrow. I can't do
All
so.
right. All right, perfect. I'll be over there then. Do you have any more questions for me, Henry? Is there anything that I need to know before I come?
Here, we'll just pause it there. So what I would say is like, look, you have the right idea. I think you're, I'll give you a little bit better word tracks, but again, the process is the same. If I go to, let's just do the same exact thing. So I'm on a, like, all we're gonna pick it up is I just said I'm gonna offer you again, I talked to my clients, I want to offer you 65 grand. That's what we're gonna pick up. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ring ring.
Hello?
Hey, Amani. So again, I spoke to my clients, and the best offer I was able to get for you today, based on the information you provided, was 65 grand.
Okay, yeah, man, I hear you. That's just not going to cut it for me. I mean, maybe I could come down to 90, but 65 is just it's not enough.
So, it's funny. I said the same exact thing to my client. I think that we actually can get you somewhere, probably closer into that range. But the best way we're going to have, or the only way it seems like, in order to give you the best fighting chance to get you close to that number, is if we were able to put the property on the market. Would you be totally against having me put the property on the market and list it for sale?
I mean, I got an agent that I would use.
Sure. I mean, look, everyone in the world says they have an agent, right? Like everyone in the world has a license. The question is, can they actually get the job done? So would you be totally against at least having a conversation about a second opinion?
No, I mean, we could have a conversation about it.
Okay, great. I'm gonna be in the area later this week. What works better for you, an afternoon or evening appointment?
Cool.
The same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, and remember, like we're not
finesse.
Yeah,
more
a
pizzazz
little
on
bit
it.
more finesse, a little bit better, and a little bit different on the word track, right? Like the statements that you're saying, right? Would you be totally against having me market the property for you, right? I like asking questions like that. I also like to, when I do the pivot, I like to cut people off a little bit earlier in the conversation instead of like, I don't want you to talk about, your pricing, because even if you just go absolutely fucking not, 65 is ridiculous, you have no idea. I immediately want to pivot and go, Amani, I agree with you. I said the same exact thing to my client, right? Like I said the same exact thing. I think the pricing, that he offered doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and I think I can get him up. And I think that if you want the best fighting chance to get you the best price possible, we should be putting the property in the market. Would you be totally against having me market the property for sale? And again, you got to cut them off so they don't fucking speak. You got to speak over them, all right? Because if they start going berserk, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna hang up on you. So you need to be careful with that. Number two, you also need to make sure that when you're asking about listing the property for sale, I would be very, very careful. Or let me restate it. I would be very aware that they're going to probably give you an objection immediately, and you to be like on your toes like a boxer, ready for the swing, because you need to be prepared to handle it right away. Just like you guys, you were saying like I already have an agent. I completely understand. Everyone's a real estate agent. It takes 2 seconds to get your real estate license, but the question is, can they get their job done? So would you be totally against having it? Would you be totally against getting a second opinion? Being right there, ready for whatever objection that they're going to have for you, is very, very important.
Do you have objection handlers in the script book? Maybe I just haven't made it to the page yet.
I don't know. I don't think so. I will have to redo an objection because I feel like I've done these in the past. I probably have something with all of my objection handlers on it.
I'd love to see it because I would write them down and then I'll practice them out.
Yeah, what I would even say, guys, is like, look, just like here, with you, Amani, and anyone else here listening, if you have any objections, come to the live calling session with an objection you're getting, and let's drill it. Like, let's go over and over and over and over again, right? Like that, and like also everyone here, I guarantee you, Amani, if you went in the WhatsApp group right now and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a prospecting partner, right? Someone who I can role play these objections with," you're gonna get 3 people who at least raise their hand minimum, right? So I would definitely drill it with a partner, but come on here and do this. I will do this every single week with you, and we'll drill any objection you come across. So every time you get an objection and you don't know how to answer it, let's do it.
Done. Thank you.